In order to tackle the menace of age fraud and age fudging in Indian cricket, the BCCI has now come up with some radical movements. They have announced certain things which could curb age fraud in a big way. Now, according to the age verification process in a report that Crickbuzz has published at this point, there are certain things which are now going to be changed. And one of the things, the new move to curb age fraud, there is going to be a second bone test for players whose bone age exceeds the threshold. This second bone test is going to be very important to ensure that this age fudging thing is totally nipped in the bud. Now, what is the threshold? For boys, it is 16 years. For girls, it is 15 years. Now, what is the bone test and how exactly is it done? This is very important in the context because through X-ray tests, through DEXA tests, what happens is once a player's bone age is determined, 1 year is added to it, so that this adjusted figure is referred as the mathematical age. You have to discount all the imperfections that the technology might have. So what is the thing that they have done? Players' bone age determined through X-ray and DEXA, 1 year is added to it. Adjusted figure is referred as mathematical age. So supposing one player's bone age for a boy is 14.8. That's the bone age that is determined after the tests. 1 year is added, which is 15.8. At the time of doing the test, he is then eligible to play under 16. But if it is 15.2 and 1 year is added, 16.2, he is not eligible then to participate in under 16. This is the clear-cut rule which is mentioned in that. If player, now this is the new age verification rule. If player is still under 16 as per birth certificate, second bone test will be allowed. Now, birth certificate, what if it is fudged? There is a second layer. Valid Aadhaar document carrying players' latest photographs. That is mandatory now. If your birth certificate has some flaws, you have to then produce your Aadhaar card with the valid photographs, latest 1 or 2 months before. That is the thing which has now been determined. Now, what is the methodology that happens? Traditionally, the bone tests are done between July and August. That is the period before the start of the domestic season in Indian cricket. Traditionally, you have Devdar, you have Dulip, you have all the other things, Ranji, that all will begin from September onwards. July to August, start of the domestic season, these tests are done. How is it done? State associations are allotted specific windows, like, okay, you do it in the affiliated hospitals that the BCCI and the state associations have put out. BCCI state official will then come and monitor and ensure that the tests are not fudged. So in this way, a huge step that the BCCI has taken is the second bone test, which will be formalized soon. This is a report that Crickbuzz has put out, which is all but credible at this point in time. One has to understand second bone test with proper documentation. The second bone test has also been done primarily because there might be some imperfections in the technology, and that is why a second test with these new value additions. Do you think this will curb age fraud in Indian cricket? You can write to us in the comments below. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.